way that it was set up. That's okay. And we're going to bring this into Unreal. So let's open up Unreal. I'm going to do an import, and let's go find the flag. Hit open. We'll just say everything yes. Bring it in like the other one. And we're not going to see anything because it's sideways. You're only going to see it once you go to turn it. Now the material, it gave it the default material again. We're going to change that. Now I already have it imported somewhere else, so I'm just going to use it. But let me just show you. We have in the, actually not that material, where is it? Basic level. Let me go find it. You know what? I'm going to have to import it. I thought I already had it loaded. Sorry about this. Okay, so let's just do import. And I got to go just pull it up in the folder for the class, physics, demo assets. There we go. So I'm going to bring this in square BMP. It's just basically the logo. And we want to bring this into the physics demo package. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have it loaded up. And now I'm going to create a new material from this. So I can basically highlight it and do create new material. Hit OK, and it adds an MAT to it. And double click to edit the material. And right now you can see there's nothing loaded up, and that's because nothing is assigned to the diffuse channel. So I can hook this up to that, and now I have it assigned to the diffuse. Now if it's a box, it's okay, but if it's a plane, it's invisible on the one side. So what we need to do is we need to toggle on two-sided, and what that'll do is that'll enable you to see the material on both sides. So that's just a change that you kind of add. It's pretty simple, but you need to do that for anything that's cloth. We're done with this. Close this out. We have it highlighted. Open up the flag, and we want to change the material that's loaded up from the flag to this. And now if we rotate this and look, now we have that set up. Now in order to enable the cloth, there's different types of cloths. So this is just the basic. As you go down to cloth and you open it up, and there's a couple things we want to do to get this going. And the big one is we want to tell it what the cloth bone is, so that's right there. So we're going to add a new space, and what we want to do is if I do view, you can see the bone names. So we have bone 01 and 02, which we imported. And I want to name it bone 002 because I basically want all the vertices that are going to be evaluated for cloth. So the ones associated with bone 001 aren't going to move, they're going to stay fixed, and the ones in bone 002 are going to be evaluated. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to go up and toggle on force CPU skinning, which basically means that the graphics card is going to calculate it. If you don't do that on, it can be an issue. And if you hit toggle cloth, you can see that automatically it starts to evaluate and move. So it's pretty meaty and pretty cool. So we have that set up. Let's just save everything real quick. So we have all those saved. And now we can bring it into the scene. So we got our flag and drag it into the scene. And I'm just going to pull it up. And let's do a play from here. Look at it, and let's see. It's not turned on because we haven't activated it yet. So we need to select the cloth and go into its settings. And okay, and let's see, scalable mesh component, cloth, enable cloth simulation, and then cloth awake on startup because we want it to fall. And now we do a play from here. And now you can see that it goes down. Going through, and that's because by default it doesn't do anything. If I want something to actually be able to go through it, like let's grab the box, and I go in, there's actually a object option for, I believe it's collision, rigid body collide with channel. You have to toggle on cloth. And now if I go to play the scene, play from here, get out our handy physics gun, so tab. And just be aware that the more stuff is interactive with, the more your physics engine is going to be kind of unhappy, but you can see how we can kind of now run that through and use it as a tool to actually influence and modify. Let's grab it, there You can see it's not perfect because of evaluation, but at any rate, you can see that gets the idea across. So we have two more things that we're going to look at, and these are both inside Unreal, so I'm actually going to close up Max just to save my processor speed, make it happier. The first one is called a physical material. And what we'll do is open up Content Browser, and I'm actually going to create a new physical material. So go in New Physical Material, and this is just a physical test, name whatever you want. And all it is it's, if you remember the volumes, it's kind of similar. You can adjust the friction restitution. And what we're going to look at is just the physics material properties. So I'm going to go and change this. And there's a list available that I've uploaded, but let's just do something like wood. Now if I go to walk around in the scene, just to let you kind of see, because if I walk around in the scene right now, the footstep sounds like it's metallic. Now if I go in and I change the material type, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically assign it to this. So I'll open up this default material, that's the one that was imported. And there's an option for physical material. I'm going to highlight the physical material and assign it. And now it's loaded up. Now I'm also going to change the look of this because this does a default when you import it. I'm going to go find another material. So let's go find, actually we'll use that stone that we had earlier. Let's just use this. So if I double click and open this material, I can't modify that material, but the one thing I can do is I can copy it. So I can do Control-Alt to border select, and then Control-C for copy, and then come in here and do right click and do paste here, Control-V. Now I just have to rehook everything once it's in. Hello, there it is. Okay, so diffuse goes up to diffuse. And that should turn that on. And let's see, this is the specular. Let me minimize this out because we don't need it anymore. That goes to specular. This goes to specular power. And then the last one goes, so that's the shininess. And the last one goes to the normal map, which creates the simulates depth. And once you get all that loaded up, you can see the normal map definitely goes a long way for adding stuff. And if you do a cylinder or something, you can see it a lot more. So I'm going to save that. So now I have this one material that has a physical material loaded up to it. So you can also do this with objects as well. So let's go back to our package that we've been working at and save it real quick. And you can see that updated everything. And now I'm going to leave this open for the time being so we can, well, let's bring this in and we're going to assign this material to the floor. And now if I do a play from here, it might be a little hard to see, but now it sounds like wood. So, and that's because I entered material type wood. So you can do something like shallow water. Now play from here. Now it sounds like I'm splashing. Also they have a really kind of, this is a very Unreal-esque. There's flesh human, if you would like. Squishy splashy noise. So that's kind of a handy thing to do, and like I said, you can also adjust friction, those types of things, so you can actually modify the surface and kind of what happens with it when it impacts, when it gets shot, etc. The very last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about fracturing. Now this is a simple fracturing, which is basically when an object gets destroyed dynamically in a scene. There are more complicated ways of doing it with more specialized engines, but this is just a very basic, simple way to do it. So we go into Tool, and this is where we saved our thumbnail angle, and we go Fracture. And then all we do is we assign how much we want to break up this object, how many chunks, and what they kind of look like, and then we do Slice. And it automatically creates a new material. So the cool thing is you can take any pre-existing asset that you find in Unreal and do this to it. Although if you want to make your own game, you have to make sure that you can legally use the item that you're actually modifying. Okay, so here's the fracture, And now what we do is we're going to basically save this real quick. Just to do the update, we're going to bring the fractured object into the scene. And if you look right there, you can kind of see that it's all the ways broken up. Now if I do a play from here, I need to shoot one, that's it. And you can see the material is kind of off on it. So the thing that's happening with this is you got to go in and actually open up fractured static actor, fractured static compound. And there might be other ways to do it, but the way that I've been doing it is, let me just make sure I get this, fracture mass distance checkpoint. Sorry about this, just give me 1 sec to make sure. Toggle on chunks explode. So, okay, this is actually in the automatically fracture adjust mesh editor properties. Okay, I think this might actually be, let's go in here and see. Always break off. Okay, yeah, composite chunks explode is basically what we need, so that everything kind of moves out. If not, it won't react. So now I did that. Now I hit it, now it breaks apart. You can see there's still, as far as those items, and also you can assign materials and stuff. But the cool thing is it actually has all the collision bodies, so you can't move through it either. So once it's created, it's there. But be aware that this is kind of processor intensive, so you probably want to be careful with it. So that's it as far as using Unreal for physics. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of more stuff you can do, but this gets you kind of started.